Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to have saga-wide implications, as well as introducing new elements to the Star Wars franchise that fans had never seen before in this movie by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, what's really great about this film so far, from what we have been learning, is that this movie really is going to have a lot of connections to past characters and films from the prequels, the originals, and even partially of the sequel trilogy, which is great. We do know that J.J. Abrams is going to attempt to change our view of both The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and just the entire Skywalker saga with this movie. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for this film. Now, specifically, a description of Kylo Ren and Rey inside of a dark environment, where it's described that they are walking on a metallic bridge. It's described to be a sequence that takes place after Kylo and Rey hold hands, during one of their Force bonds where Kylo has discovered a path that brings him to a certain place that may or may not be the worlds between worlds. The next describes both Kylo and Rey walking next to each other side by side, where it's described that they both begin to see a vision of Emperor Palpatine laughing over another figure that is described to be a hooded Supreme Leader Snoke, revealing only his nose and mouth. It's unclear as to why Palpatine is hovering over Snoke in front of both Kylo and Rey. However, it could indicate there is a connection between those two characters in some way, shape, or form. Palpatine in the vision was described to appear just as he did when he fought Yoda in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and Snoke was described to be wearing a black cloak with his arms crossed. The last describes the figures of Palpatine and Snoke beginning to vanish, as both Rey and Kylo begin to see other visions of the past. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this, because we do know that J.J. Abrams is really taking full advantage of this story in order to deliver a lot of vision sequences, dream sequences, flashbacks, you name it, in order to really make this movie connect to the past films of the Skywalker saga and to give us visuals of other characters from the past. So what really intrigues me the most here is exactly why are Kylo Ren and Rey seeing visions of Supreme Leader Snoke and Emperor Palpatine? Now, for the longest time, a lot of people have been wondering, is there a connection between those two characters? Have they ever met before? None of the novels and the books so far have actually even indicated that, other than Palpatine actually sensing a dark side energy over in the unknown regions before his death, right? Before the events of Episode 6, Palpatine actually felt this dark side presence over in the unknown regions, which that was a major indicator that Palpatine actually felt Supreme Leader Snoke's energy. So the other piece that I do want to go over is the description of both Palpatine and Snoke in this vision in black space with a metallic bridge where Kylo Ren and Rey are walking on top of this. Now, this to me sounds like J.J. Abrams pretty much bringing in the worlds between worlds. In case you guys are completely unaware of what that really is, the Worlds Between Worlds was a episode in Star Wars Rebels Season 4, in which Ezra Bridger is able to literally take Ahsoka Tano out from a different point in time in the Star Wars franchise and save her own self from Darth Vader killing her. And we even get a sequence in which Palpatine is using energy to chase both Ezra and Ahsoka in that episode. So, the Worlds Between Worlds, it is canon. Dave Filoni made time travel basically canon in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. And even interestingly here, alright, we do know that J.J. Abrams had a lot of discussions with Dave Filoni while he was writing the script and while he was even filming this movie, and even during some of the rewrites of the script, there were a lot of discussions between both Dave Filoni and J.J. Abrams, which really brings one to question exactly what is going on here between both, of course, Supreme Leader Snoke, Emperor Palpatine, appearing in front of both Kylo Ren and Rey during this big vision sequence in this unknown world that may or may not be a different realm. So, we also know that Jedi and Sith lore is going to play a major role in Episode 9, and that is going to be used in order to evolve both Kylo Ren and Rey. It's very possible that this takes place within the Jedi Temple or something around those lines, where both Kylo and Rey are actually brought to this different realm. But keep in mind, this is described to be a moment in which both Kylo and Rey are in a Force bond sequence. The same exact thing that we saw in, of course, The Last Jedi. Something that J.J. Abrams is all set and ready to evolve of what Rian Johnson created in The Last Jedi. Now, of course, J.J. Abrams left the breadcrumbs of, the Force bond in The Force Awakens. He basically really planted the seeds and Rian Johnson made that grow, and now J.J. Abrams is evolving that whole entire idea into something else entirely new in Episode 9, which honestly, guys, I think is pretty interesting and fascinating to see exactly what J.J. has in store for the Force Bonds and, you know, what he's going to do with all these different vision sequences and whether or not they really are going to have, you know, a great meaning or purpose to these sequences that are really going to move the characters from start to finish of this movie. So with that being said, guys, there is a mystery between both Snoke and Palpatine and as to why they are appearing in front of both Kylo and Rey in this particular sequence. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.